Welcome back to the AnKorage, where everything is awesome, and this video is brought to you by the iCan. It's an amazing can. It's round, it's circular, it's cylindrical, it has a cap, it has a metal bottom. Isn't that great? Now, and if you smell inside, it smells like nothing because I have had this for months and the smell of mixed nuts has gone. There are a few pieces of nut skin in there, but they're very, very small, but it's been cleaned out very nicely. But this was provided to me as the can that I tell myself where I can achieve what I am doing. And I am doing this video. Of course I'm going to achieve it. But either way, if you have an iCan, you can! Isn't that great? Alright. Moving on. Thank you very much. I've just made total fun of that, but whatever. This is AnKorage Extras, and it is about something computer related. That's why I've got this going on, because I've got OBS set up and I've got things set up, stuff like that. I'm at the point in video productions where I've got enough of them, and it'll be nice to kind of catalog the different videos and kind of, organize them and the steps that the different scenes I want to do, the particular parts I want to do. So, and I'm like, how could I actually track that? And so I decided, well, why don't I look into that a little bit? So I did a little looking into it, and I've decided that I want to use something that I did back when I worked at a place as a quality assurance analyst, and we used something, a methodology that was called waterfall. So you would have your beginning, let's say here, and you'd have production here, and it was all computer related because it was about computer stuff. And of course, with all the steps, it would go from here to here to here to here to here, boom, production. And that was great, and I was so used to that. And then we decided we were going to adopt the agile project management, and which is dev and then production, but not like this. It's not waterfall where it goes like this. It goes here and then here, and that's just a mess. And in my eyes, from what I'm used to. So but you're looking at stuff like that, and I decided, well, why don't we do that? And there's a particular service out there that provides free use of it, and we're going to be talking about that. So why don't we get talking about that? We're coming out to an organization / outfit / online service provider called Disroot, and they have the motto here. It looks like it's basically the definition: to tear up the roots of, or by the roots, hence to tear from a foundation, to uproot. And it's kind of a neat little picture of everybody. These are all activists that do different things for different rights and things like that. Now, Disroot, as it says down in here, it's a platform providing online services based on principles of freedom, privacy, federation, and decentralization. So, no tracking, no ads, no profiling, no data mining. That's very important. And I've been using this service for a number of years now, and I happen to like it a lot. I actually I have 3 separate accounts on here. There's one that's my personal one, and then I have one for the home or household, and then I have one for the channel. So I'm using, for each one of those accounts, I use different services, but I keep them separated so I know which one's which one's using which services. And they rely on donations from its community of users for its services. And I do happen to be a Patreon or patron through Patreon, and I do donate a little bit of pocket change, $5 I think it is, towards it. So and also, we can also do stuff by buying extra mail storage or extra cloud storage space if you so wish. I don't, because I really don't need the extra storage of either of those things. So if you go up here to the About page, it basically, yay, what do you know? You've got the V for Vendetta mask, which I think is completely unoriginal. It's just a way to hide oneself. But when you scroll down, you've got their mission statement. So they've been around for a while. They're based in Amsterdam. So it was founded by a gentleman that goes by the online name of Mumpeth, and another person by the name of Antilopa, back in 2015, and it's been run ever since. And they provide a number of different services. So if we go to the this drop down right here, email, cloud. Now the email is, if we go to that and we scroll down there, they provide email, so they do that, and they provide the cloud, which happens to be, okay, good. Yeah, you can see a cloud of smoke from someone throwing a smoke canister, smoke bomb, or whatever. He's wearing a gas mask. It uses Nextcloud for its cloud, so that is, it's very beneficial, and it has a number of different services on it. Like you can do your contacts, you can do a number of different things. There's like a notepad or something. I haven't been in it in a while directly, but it does have that on there. And we can go to there if we wish. We can also go to audio. Now the audio that they use, the service they use, it uses Mumble. So it's a free, open source, low latency, high quality voice chat application. So they've got that. So it's similar to a centralized equivalent called Discord. So this is the Mumble version of it. This is the free and on-track version of it. There's also a forum where everybody can come in, and it's run by using Discourse. There's also a Cryptpad. So stop watching all of us. So we have Cryptpad, which is run by, it's the actual name of the program called Cryptpad. End-to-end encryption for collaborative office suite. So you can share work together with documents, spreadsheets, presentations, whiteboards, and so on. There's also an XMPP chat, so like, text chat. This is actually running XMPP, which is decentralized and federated instant messaging. I happen to jump onto it on occasion on my personal side, so that I can see what's going on with a couple of different things with Disroot, and there's another thing that I'll show you in a moment. And there's, it's got pads, something where you can just scratch pad stuff. So collaborative editing in real time using Etherpad. Edit in real time directly in the web browser. Everybody's changes are instantly reflected on everybody's screens. There's this one here called Bin. There's a trash bin. Yeah. So this is run by using Private Bin, a minimalist open source online paste bin and discussion board. So it's all end-to-end encrypted in the browser, so there's zero knowledge of hosted data. That's good. There's also an upload area. So this upload is run by Luffy, encrypted temporary file upload service. So if you have a file that you want to share with other people, then you can upload the file to this, and you can give them a link to actually download it. And everything is was it end to end, or is it just okay? Never leave your files unencrypted. So it's not end to end encrypted necessarily, but they are encrypted when you go to upload it. So it's encrypted on their end, so they can't see it, and it's it unencrypts with your download sharing. There's a search here that's operated through Cirex, anonymous multi-search engine platform. So it's a search engine similar to Google, DuckDuckGo, Quant. I use Start Page, but and then of course it says what makes it unique from others is that it's a meta search engine, aggregating results from other engines to give you the results. And there's you don't need an account with Disroot to use this service. Basically, it gives you the search results without tracking anything, and there's no telemetry or anything like that. So that's really good. I like that one. We're going to skip Project Board because that's what we're going to be talking about. There's Gidia here. Now Gidia is basically what we got here is powered by Gidia itself. Community-driven, powerful, easy-to-use, lightweight solution to code hosting and project collaboration. So this is kind of like, it says it's built around Git technology. So it's basically kind of like computer projects, of like hosting the code and releasing the code, things of that sort, if anyone wants to use that. There's also this other part called calls. Now what calls are is basically video conferencing. So video conferencing with through Disroot is done by an application called Jitsi Meet, and I happen to jump on a Jitsi server that's run by Switch to Linux, where myself and some others can go in and we do our supporter stream on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Switch to Linux, check it out, link below. So you can actually do your own kind of video conferencing using Jitsi Meet on here as well, and you can start a conference. So, and then we've got what we're actually coming here, and this is the Project Board. So power to the people with a peace sign. Isn't that wonderful? So in Disroot we use Taiga. It's a project management board. So, and you would have to have a login. It's connected with a Disroot account, so that's why I've got that. And this is where you can keep track of projects. Like it says here, it creates a clear visual overview of current state of your projects to anyone involved. It makes planning very easy, and it keeps you and your team focused on tasks. So my purposes are a little differently. I'm just me by myself, but I decided I was going to use this project management board, and that's what we're talking about today. So you can contact folks here in different ways. There's the community. Field of Dreams reference there. I got the community of different things. So they want to be open about their plans, ideas, and current progress, so on and so forth. You can go to donate. What's the cost? Well, you can use LibraPay, Patreon, PayPal. I don't remember that one nor this one. So, but if you want to contribute to these folks, if you decide to use their services and you want to throw them some coin, you can use these services. Some different perks. Need some more storage, you can pay for some more storage. You can request for it. Things of that sort. Custom domains. If you have an account with with these folks, you can get a custom domain. There's also a blog. So we've got the latest one talking about new servers, moving spam mails, new prices, locker, and chat control. That's really good. If I can back up here. And then there's tutorials on how to do the different things for the different services in here. And there's also an FAQ. So we are going to be jumping back to the home page. Here it is. So it's like I mentioned before, I decided I want to utilize project management in my own particular way, and I am going to show you a little bit about how that is, give you a little bit of an example. So we are talking about Taiga, which is where I am doing my my project management from for my videos and everything. So out here on Taiga, Project Management Board. It's a project management tool powered by Taiga, working with agile methodology in mind. So, makes clear visual overview of the current state of your project, anyone involved, so on and so forth. Blah, 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 blah. So basically, Taiga's features is a Kanban board. You could do a Scrum project, you could do an issue board, a wiki, you could do epics, whatever. Now I decided to use the Kanban board because for those unfamiliar with project management tools and the Scrum, which I am familiar with it, and from my personal experience, I think it's garbage. It works good for what it's for, but for me, it's absolute garbage. So we advise to use the simple Kanban template. So that's the one that I'm using, and there's a bit of an example of it over here. So it's basically kind of like a bulletin board with a bunch of post-it notes on it. And basically, you start, you backlog, sprint ready, in progress, ready for test, and done, stuff like that. It's like I don't do this particular thing here. I've got different column headers here. But basically is you take, your post-it note and you paste it here. And then when it changes from one status to another, you take it from here and you stick it into this column. And then to this one. Then this, there's a chain of events that follows there. So why don't we go ahead and log in? So we're coming in, and this is mine to show you that I've got going on. This is my project board for the AnKorage, and in the top left corner we have projects. So basically I've got an example project here I'll be showing you, and also kind of poke around one of these. We'll do a main one because that's where I've got the most going on. But when you first come in, you're brought into this dashboard, and it says, well, okay, working on blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'm really kind of not, but I am in some respect. In fact, I have to move one thing along. I'm kind of like doing, let's see, this one here. So I'm watching move older files to Odin. I'm actually working that right now. I've got Scotty, my laptop, which I was using initially for all of my videos before I moved it over to Odin, which is a better machine all around. And then these are over here is a list of all of the separate projects. So basically, if we can go into it by just doing this drop down like this, and you can also create a new project from here. But I've got all my projects right here. So if I go into the examples project, this is what we're brought into. And it says that there, and then it says here's the Kanban board right here. But when you're first brought in, it says, oh, well, here's the AnKorage Extras example project. And it says this is an example project for the project management video. That's what we're on. People can like it, they can watch it, whatever. You can send emails. I don't have any need for it, so I'm not using any of that. The team, me, I'm it. So if we go to the Kanban board, click on that, and we're brought into it, and we've got the different columns. new, ready, in progress, ready for test, done, and then we've got this archive section over here. So I created this example user story because when you create something new here, you're actually creating new user story. Here's the subject. So here is example number 2, and it's new, so we're going to leave that, but you do have the option to drop it into any of the columns. You can assign it to a team member or assign it to me. So if I click on that, assign it to myself. And then, this is the description. Just, if I can spell it right, for example, like that. You can add attachments, and then you got like these points and stuff like that. I don't use those. And then you've got these different options down here. You can block it. You can client requirement requires a new requirement, whatever. Team requirement. Set a due date. I don't have any due dates, so I don't set any of that stuff. And then you click on create, and it creates it, and it's right down here in the new. So if we click on the example, and I'll show that in a second, but we create that, and then of course you can create a new bulk, and you can also collapse the column, and you can do that with any of these, and you can you can change these, which is down in this left column down at the bottom where you see settings. If you click on that, you're brought into this project, attributes, members, permissions, integrations. This is like if you're running something where you actually need all of this stuff. I don't need all of this stuff, but if I go to attributes here, if I click on that, statuses. Here's all the statuses. These are all the tops of those columns. So if I wanted to change this, I can come over here to this edit box, click on that, and I can change this to new example, like that. I can change the color if I wish. If I know the color code, which is a web color type thing here, you can plug it in, or if you just want one of the ones that are created up here, you can just create one of those. Click on one of those, and boom, there it is, and it changes the color. And and then you have the name there. And is anything that's created in here closed? No. You can hit yes or no, and you can save it or you can delete it. So if I save it, there we go. And now here's what these are like. This is the name. This is what you name it. And then they say slug. Now basically what this means is, like, just to show you for example, in progress and ready for test. Spaces are replaced with dashes, and that's for the sake of the database, so that there's a constant flow of characters. And if you didn't want to keep something, you could delete it. It'll ask you if you want to delete it, and boom, see, it's gone. Now, like those ones, you get epics. Now, we don't need, I don't need epics, because I am an epic.
I am the epic. I am the only epic ever needed.
Sorry. But anyways. But everything's kept out as user stories. Now, these are the individual blocks on the Kanban board. And you can do the same thing with that. There's also task statuses. So, these are for tasks. And then there's issues. You can change any of these, stuff like that. So go back to the Kanban board. There's that. Now, we have the example user story. I'll show you that. So we'll use the example. So if you click on the title, it opens it up, and you're basically, if there's a description, you can just go ahead and type it in. You got different formatting options up in here, and then there's a little save button over here that's really close to this close button. which is actually a cancel button, but you click on the disk and it saves it, and there it is. You can add attachments in here. This is where you would create your tasks. So if you click on the plus sign, you have a new task here, and you can go task 1 like that, and hit enter, and it creates a task. And from there you can change the title if you wish, and you could do a new status, but you can also change it to in progress, to all the different status names if you wish. And you can also assign it. You click on the assign and you pick the user, and it changes it to me, because that's what I'm doing it for here. And you can add comments, and you have all of this stuff here, assigned to who. You can add watchers, you can do points, and you can do all these same things down here. You can actually delete the actual user story by clicking on this. Do you want to delete this user story? I'm not going to, but I'll just delete the entire project when I'm done. But that's for that. And so if we go back, I go back to the Kanban board and reopen the user story. It's just the same thing. You just got the list of everything. This is inside the user story. So then you can click back on Kanban to get the board back up, and then you can of course change things out as you go along, add things, change things, and so on. And then when you're ready to move on to the next status, you just click and drag it over to another column. Or if I wanted to skip a couple columns, you could do that. And you can just keep piling them on and stuff like that. So let me show you a little bit of an example. If I go to the main portion for the AnKorage, you can see here's everything that I've been doing. It's a little bit of a it's not tracking, but it's to keep track of everything. It's like an updating type thing. So if I go to the Kanban board, you can see everything I got here. So new user story, buff quest and phone quest, in progress, move older files to Odin, published, dinner quest, closed, all the previous videos on the main channel videos, the main projects, not AnKorage Extras or Quest New Hampshire. It's all like that. And then when everything is, when I feel that I don't need to have these listed here anymore, I can basically expand my archived column, drag it over and drop it, and it will be archived, and then of course that will close up by itself. So this is basically the methodology I go. You can see I've got the titles up here, very simple. New user story. So basically, and I'm using titles of videos as the name of the user story, and then of course it progresses from there to in progress, to publishing after I publish it to YouTube, and then after it's published I move it to closed. And what happens here is that when you create one of these, so if I create a new one, let's do an example here. We'll call it example, like that. Example. Just keep it as that. New user story. This is only an example, like that. And that's how I leave it. And then create it, and there it is. And you can delete, or trash or delete, get rid of these things by clicking on delete the user story. Yes, do you want to? Yes, no. But so, and just to show my tracking for my purposes is, I create the new thing here, and when I'm going to start working on it, I just click and drag it over to in progress. And these are actually parts of cases, and they are kept open. So anything that goes into these is left with a case status of open. And even when it's unpublished, it's still open. It only switches over to a closed status when I move it to the closed column. and I can just click and drag it, and boom. And I'll just show you for an example. If we go into it, up here in the upper right corner, you can see open under published. So now if I was to go back to that and move it to closed and then reopen it, it's in closed. Now I do keep it, it's in closed status, but it's not actually closed until I archive it. So I move back here, I'll open this up, and then I'll drag it over here to archived. And then when I open it, of course it says open. It's supposed to switch over to closed, but in either case, it's archived and it's out of the way. So I can delete it from this point, and that's all gone. So that example is completely gone. So I could view all projects, and if I go to all my projects, I can see them here. You get these over here on the right, you get these little menu options. Well, you can just click and drag to different whatevers, different spots. And you can actually delete the entire project. Go into settings, you can come down here. It's like, even like for project information, you can change the title of it, so on and so forth, project owner, all that happy joy. Do you want it to be public? In other words, on Disroot, if you make it public, everybody that's a user on Disroot or visitors or something like that, they'd be able to see it. But of course, my stuff is private. It's for me only, so only I see it. And you can make your changes and save it, and then you can delete it. So why don't we go ahead and delete it? Yes, I'm really sure. And if you look up here, the projects, up here, it's all gone. And if you look over here, it's gone. The project is completely gone. So I'm using this method to actually track all of my videos. And I use a Kanban board. It's very simple. It's very easy. And it uses the methodology for Agile. And so what I'm basically taking the approach of is yeah, this might be related to Agile, but I am ruining it. So that's how we've got there. And in closing, we'll talk about that for a brief second, and then we'll end it from there. Taiga is a great option for using from Disroot. They host it on their servers, and that way you don't have to host it on your own computer. And the overall file sizes the file size is fairly small, and you can actually back it all up and take it down, take it offline, and save it in case you want to use it for later. Or if you decide to move to another service or something like that, you can just port your projects over. You can migrate it very easily, and it's really good. And it's it's primarily made for computer project management and things of that sort. From the different customizations and stuff like that you can bring it and take it, you can actually make it however you want it and use it as deep as you want to, but you don't need to. It's for me, it's I'm using it for YouTube video, project management, to manage the different stages of doing my videos. And so I'm doing that. You could even do, let's say, this Kanban board for something as simple as like a household project. Let's say, I know we just started summer, but if you've got spring cleaning you gotta do, you could be oh, spring cleaning, I gotta do this room, so on and so on and so on, stuff like that. And there will be people out there that be no, you can't do that because this is meant for this, and so on and so forth. Well, I say bull. You make it the way you want it. You configure it the way you want it configured. Use it how it's going to work for you, because you can do that. But it's a great service. You can use it for many different things. It doesn't have to be necessarily what it comes out of the box. If you want to, go for it, but you don't have to. It's your account, your login and stuff like that. Take it and do what you want with it. Don't let anyone tell you no, you can't, because you can, and I do. So there we go. So that's basically going to end this video, and we will catch you on the next one. And just as a reminder, this video was brought to you by the I Can. I can because I did. Take it easy, guys. Whoop. Skál. And we'll see you in the next one.